Hey everybody, welcome to another reading. This one was kind of impromptu. I was just hanging out on the couch and something said do a reading now. So I was like, okay. This reading is going to see what's next in your love life as promised. Love readings for February. So let me see. Before we get started, if you want a one-on-one love reading, I am offering a discounted special for February. I also have my one-on-one hour-long Zoom readings if that's of interest to you, or my shadow chart readings. So all of that information is in the description below. And a reminder, I will be gone for March. So if you are kind of wanting a reading, but not sure if it should be now, if you want it sooner rather than later, then it should be now. Last thing before we dive in is my retreat launched for November, and we're going to Egypt. So if you would like to join us in Egypt or learn more about that retreat, hit the link below. We have a lot planned for that trip. We're going to Cairo and Luxor, and it's really going to be more focused on just reconnecting with the land, learning the history of ancient Egypt, which has been a very monumental part of my spiritual journey, as well as embracing the 1111 portal because we will be out there for that. And I'll be doing a Reiki activation and meditation. Okay, so let's get started. We have not taken a deep breath yet, right? No, we have not. Okay. Feet flat on the ground, palms down to ground, palms up to receive. Close your eyes if you'd like. Deep breath. Drop your shoulders down, relax, relax, relax. That's what I'm missing, the microphone. Oh, well, I guess it's not. That's not what we're doing today. Okay. Just from what I've seen while cutting these cards to shuffle, I'm going to start by asking about your energy so you can see if this message is for you or not. Obviously, take what resonates, leave the rest. But from what I'm seeing, there's someone who's going through some sort of emotional loss. There's grief coming up. There's a lot of heartache. And also, I saw the card of moving on mentally, though. So it almost feels like this may not be a situation that's, again, take it as it resonates, but this may not be a situation that's necessarily like an active current thing, but something that's been weighing on your heart and your mind. And something may have happened recently to encourage you to let it go. But we'll see. We'll find out. We'll see what these cards have to say. All right, Spirit, can you please show me and tell me some things about this person watching who this message is for? Tell me about this person that we're reading for. Okay. You are someone, so it's funny because we got a similar energy that I was mentioning. You are someone who might be going through some emotional withdrawals or recently purged a lot of trapped emotion. You may have even gone outside somewhere, perhaps the beach or something, prayed, just meditated, sat. Like it feels like you kind of had like a coming to Jesus moment, whether or not you believe. It feels like you had some sort of, I don't even want to say epiphany, but it's like things started coming together and it wasn't comfortable, but it really allowed you to release something so that you can create space and move forward. So we got triumphant success and crown chakra with emotional withdrawal at the bottom of the deck and spiritual strength at the top of the deck. Oh, wow. I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know if you, mm, I don't know if you realize how important this was or is if you're still going through it. Okay, let me try to get my thoughts together. First of all, we have 7, 8, 9 here. When I'm seeing this, what I'm thinking, and then we have 1. So it feels like this was the last sort of bit before you fully immerse into this new beginning that's been being prepared for you and that you have been preparing for. Okay. Oh, it's coming. There's a confirmation brewing. Um, okay. You have movement, choices, and decisions underneath emotional withdrawal, intuition, transformation, authority, which is the emperor moving on, that mental card I mentioned, patience. This has been a long journey for you. I know we're talking about loves during this reading, and I think perhaps love may have been the catalyst for you to implement the changes within you that were necessary for everything to sort of fall into place. You've been undergoing a really huge transformation for quite some time. It may have been very turbulent as well. My left ear is itching. Um, but it was allowing you to not only remember your power, but to integrate it, to stand in it with the authority card here. This is the divine masculine. This is the emperor. We all have this energy within us. If you are a divine masculine watching, then this is the energy that you're walking into. The emperor is not a king. The emperor is the king of kings. So the kings look to the emperor, and this is what you've been doing. You've been really allowing yourself to release outdated thought patterns or beliefs, especially around power, especially around control, especially around leadership. Some of you may have had a skewed idea or perspective on leadership that wasn't actually conducive to the person that you needed to be in order to gain the blessings that you have waiting for you. This is healthy leadership. This is heart-centered leadership. And because of that, because you needed to be heart-centered for this leadership, you also needed to then take a look at what's going on in there. And this is what may have led to this emotional release or purge. I'm feeling a lot of energy in my throat as well. um, there's going to be some changes in your life because of this, okay? Like physical changes. Your money is going to change, your opportunities are going to change. You may have an important decision or choice you have to make that may involve moving. Um, and you've also, this has led you to really trust your intuition. It might still be a little shaky because you might be new to this. Well, not new to this, but you're learning to be true to this. Like you're learning to trust yourself, you're learning to trust your intuition. There may have been a long time where you sort of wrote off synchronicities or messages or the guidance, or maybe you would get guidance in your body, but you wouldn't listen to it. And you kept sort of making excuses. And something happened recently to show you palpably how intuitive you are and how much you need to listen to the guidance that you're getting. With crown chakra here, you have been getting guidance. For some of you, it may be in your dreams. Um, and again, this may not have been the most comfortable release, even though you got triumphant success here, which is a mental card. You may have overcome a mental pattern or block, or even communication. There may have been some sort of, because with the sword here, even though it's a mental card, swords in traditional tarot is communication and intellect. You showed up differently than you normally would have with something. And it may have triggered you in some way, or it may have sort of ruffled a little something inside of you, but it almost feels like a whole, yeah, like a thread, like the thread was being pulled and it was unraveling. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, but it was leading you to finally acknowledge, act, receive whatever it was for you, the information that you needed in order to release whatever has been taking up a lot of space in your heart so you could clear that up and make room for where you're going. Spiritual strength at the top of the deck. You're someone who is like not finally, because there's no timetable for this. Everyone's on their own journey, but it may feel like finally, even to you, where it's like, dang, like, why didn't I see this sooner? Or why didn't I learn this sooner? Or why did it take me so long? Or things like that, especially when it comes to your heightening spiritual gifts and your ability to discern and your sensitivities and your noticing the messages that you're getting and the feelings that you're getting. um you're really strengthening your spiritual relationship. You're really strengthening your spiritual strength. Like there is you're realizing how much stronger this is than your mind. I think your mind really took the lead for a long time on a lot of things, maybe specifically love. Um, and you're starting to see that you had a weapon that was much stronger at your disposal, but you didn't know how to use it. And so you didn't really touch it. And you went for what you knew, which was perhaps the swords, your mind, your intellect, but perhaps the way you would wield that sword was hurting you more than hurting you and other people instead of doing the job that you needed it to do. And so it's all you like switched it up. You decided to perhaps give your intuition more respect, give yourself more respect. Yeah, there's lots of love coming up here, memories of love. You may have you may have you may have successfully avoided an addictive pattern, some sort of addiction. um it feels like you may have been put in a situation where you could have easily done something the way you would have always done it, but you caught yourself and you chose differently. And that was major. It was a huge, I don't like saying test, but it feels like it's really allowing you to move forward now with a clear path. Again, it may still be heavy depending on what it is for you, but it's giving you a solid foundation within yourself that's allowing you to build on that foundation. Things may have been really stagnant for a long time. Things may have been really stagnant for a long time, but they're starting to move forward. Still be patient with yourself as you move through this. So if that resonated with you at all, then this reading may be for you. Again, keep your discernment. You know what that is now. You're practicing it, you're trusting it. Yeah, my throat keeps. This may have sparked a desire to communicate something to someone that you're still not sure how to navigate. Because again, it still feels kind of heavy. Take your time. You'll know. You'll know because now you know how to know, you know? Like you be knowing. You were always, well, maybe not always. I think for some of you, the struggle was always like, is this my intuition or is this my head? Is this my mind playing tricks on me, or is this really me picking up on something? Okay, Spirit, what's next? It's love for this collective. Things are moving slow, I'll tell you that much. Mm. Ooh, okay. Mm. Okay, well, love is coming. If it's not here already for you, there may be someone new who's entering the picture for you, or a recommitment to love in some way, starting over with someone. You got new love. It is safe for you to love. Soulmate at the top of the deck, and then true love at the bottom of the deck. It may be hard for you to trust this love based on the experiences that you've had in the past. A lot of things that you've had in the past, because we also have deception underneath the top card. So you may have been someone who has dealt with a lot of deceptive people who weren't necessarily being honest and authentic with you about who they are, what they're doing, how they're feeling. And that has caused you to really shut down when it comes to love, whether you are um, aware of it or not. And rightfully so. Betrayal can be a very deep wound, especially if you've experienced it multiple times by people. You may have been someone too who was really open to giving people chances, like chance after chance, um, because, okay, I'm getting two different, there's kind of a split here. Some of you would give chance after chance because you knew what you were feeling and you wanted to see what you felt come to fruition. But for whatever reason, that wasn't happening, and there was some sort of deception or betrayal. Then on the other end, there are some of you who really question this. And by this, I mean, it could have been like a past relationship or love in general. You would always question it, and you yourself would question it so much that you would deceive yourself out of what you felt. So again, going back to what I was saying, for some of you, you relied so much on your mind, regardless of what your intuition, what your spirit was telling you. And for some of you, you were deceiving yourself about a relationship or about somebody, which I think it sabotaged. I think it created some challenges, some struggle. So again, only if it resonates. But regardless, there is a new energy of love coming in here, and this is true love. This is someone that you feel very comfortable with, someone that you can really show yourself to, someone where you don't have to lie, you don't have to hide, you don't have to put on a mask, you don't have to do all of these things, because they accept you and they see you for who you are. Some of you, though, would do this with everybody. I think for some of you, which goes back to it is safe for you to love, you really hid yourself from people because you were worried of rejection. You didn't feel worthy enough. Okay. You didn't feel worthy enough, which makes sense because love yourself first is right underneath true love. There was a lot of self-love that needed to happen here. There was a lot of realizations of how you do not see yourself clearly based on what other people have said or done to you in the past that you accepted as your identity or who you are. You may have also been heavily criticized or judged from a young age. I'm seeing a parent figure, I'm seeing a mother figure, but it could be any parent, or it could even be a sibling, teachers. It could literally be any sort of authority figure. Made you feel bad about yourself. They made you feel not good enough, inadequate, something about someone said something to you or did something to you that lingered for a really long time, that made you feel like you are not enough and you are not worthy of love. And I don't even think that you realized that was the root of it. And so your trajectory with love may have often been a little dicey. You may have found yourself in a lot of trauma bonds. You may have found yourself chasing after people who did not have good intentions, or really feeling like you had to prove yourself to the people that you were dating in order to gain their love validation. You may have also been more drawn to people that you had to prove yourself to, or people that didn't fully give you their attention or their love and praise, because that freaked you out because you weren't used to that. And so you continued a cycle of dating people who made it hard for you because that was the love you knew. You knew how to work for love. You did not know how to just accept it because you didn't feel worthy of it. But whatever that energy was, you've been letting that go. You've been understanding who you are. You've been seeing yourself a little more clearly, and you've been allowing yourself to believe that you are worthy of love, that you're actually pretty great, and that you have a lot to offer someone, and that it's not your job to prove yourself to anybody, because the people who love and care about you already see it. And you'll know because they'll talk about it. They'll verbalize it to you. They will let you know they see you. So your biggest thing with love, what's next in love, because it is coming in, and it's going to be deep, like it's a deep love, it's a soul love, it's something that it's the real deal, is to remind yourself that you're safe. Because some of you, again, may be inclined to go into your shell, just cover, protect. And again, that's just a natural sort of coping mechanism, defense mechanism based on your experiences. However, that's not going to get you anywhere. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Some of you may have been great givers, but shitty receivers. And again, that's a worthiness wound, because, and it's a control wound, because when you are able to give, you have control when you give. Not only do you have control, you have a stroked ego, because now you did a good thing and you're this person who's very giving and whatever else, but you're also in control. Being in receiving mode means releasing control. There's a lot of uncertainty with receiving. That's why it's so scary. So that may have been part of the wound as well. And if that's true for you, there may have been a deep mother wound that's sort of the bulb of all of this, that grew out of it. Because our mothers teach us how to receive. So if you had a mother who criticized you, judged you, always made you feel less than, not good enough, ridiculed you, humiliated you, dumped on you, projected on you, made you into their partner instead of their son or child or whatever, enmeshed with you, that's all going to affect the way that you receive anything, not just love, but anything. How you do one thing is how you do everything, and you'll notice that when you pay attention. So if it's hard for you to receive love, then it's probably also hard for you to receive compliments, to receive praise, to feel worthy of getting that job, making that much money, dating that person, whatever it is. You needed to remember it's safe for you to love and to open your heart, because not opening your heart was blocking your ability to experience a lot of things that you wanted. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of work healing family issues. I just cut to it. You've been doing a lot of work, especially when it comes to healing any generational cycles or experiences with your family that were contributing to your inability to attract and sustain a healthy relationship. Okay, let's consult the tarot from here. Okay, so true love is coming. Your soulmate is coming, riding right in. And this is going to be a very affectionate relationship, because in half of these cards, the couple is like all over each other. It's very sensual. It's very affectionate. Physical touch, maybe a love language that y'all enjoy doing with each other. It feels like even if it's not like if you're together, you got to be touching each other. It's that type of energy. Okay. What are potential blocks that are preventing this from coming to fruition with love? This is good, actually. We got the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like you're on the right track, and I think you've been manifesting this. It's going to be important for you to stay grounded with this, okay? Some of you might be planning to like offer a gift to someone or a financial opportunity to someone. But the main block is you not being consistent, loyal, and faithful. Because that's what this card is about. Page of Pentacles is consistent, loyal, faithful, ambitious, grounded. It's still a very innocent, youthful energy, but it's committed. You know, it's like, it's not the Hierophant where it's like, let's go to the chapel, but it is like, I'm serious about this and I want to know what this is, and I'm focused. I'm dedicating my time, my energy, my sights are on you. So let's see what this is. It's that energy. It's very goal-oriented energy because again, Pentacles is the material realm. It's putting in the work to see something grow. It's putting in the work to see the birth of something physically, tangibly. So some of you may have lacked that in the past. You may have been someone who was inconsistent, who didn't really plan things. Or if you did, you weren't able to follow through. You had trouble being faithful and loyal to your goals, specifically with love. Like you may have focused solely on work or school or something else, you know, something that you had more control over is what I'm getting, because there was a fear there. So you didn't want to spend too much energy on this because either you didn't see the value in it, or you kind of kept putting it on the back burner because you feared it. Again, with it is safe for you to love, whether you recognize it or not, you feared this. So you didn't really want to invest too much energy into it. But again, I asked for any potential blocks, and this is great energy. Yeah, make sure you continue to release any burdens that aren't yours, any obligations that aren't yours, any responsibilities. Because you may be someone who gets burnt out easily. Not easily. It's not easily. It's legitimate, but like you keep getting burnt out because you keep taking on more than you need to, more than what's yours. Queen of Wands at the top of the deck. It's going to be important for you to be confident with this. You need to be determined and optimistic. You need to recognize that this is something I value. This is something I want to experience, and this is something I'm worthy of experiencing. And so I'm going to show up in that energy. And even when my doubts and fears come trickling in, because they will, because we're human and it happens, I am bigger than that. Something I recently read that was great, like especially for me, because I used to always say that the scariest two words in the English language for me are what if. Those two words would have me in a chokehold, okay? Because I hated ever being in a position to ask what if. I don't want to ask what if. I want to know. Like I just want to know. Now, obviously, sometimes I can't know. Like that's just not possible. So the quote I read was something about how what if really keeps you in your head running hypotheticals, and it can overwhelm you, and it's caused by fear. So change what if with even if. So instead of what if I shoot my shot and they reject me? Even if I shoot my shot and they reject me, I know I'll be okay. I know I'll move past this. I know I will love again. Like, you really have to own the fact that you're going to be fine. I'm not saying it's comfortable. I'm not saying you may not have emotions and feel things, but you can't keep letting the hypothetical situation stop you from going after what you want. You need to instead use that energy to remind yourself that you are capable of handling whatever is um, coming your way. You can do this. And that's part of that spiritual strength. When you do get into those cycles of, oh my gosh, what would I do if this, or what if this happens, or what if this happens? Ooh, that was some for someone. Ooh, you need to excuse me, you need to remind yourself of the things that you have overcome up until this point, because I know you have. I know it hasn't just been rainbows and butterflies this whole time. Otherwise, you honestly wouldn't even be here. So I know you've been through some shit, and I know you've gone through a lot, and I know that you've gone through situations you didn't think you would survive, and yet here you are. I know you had moments where you thought you would never laugh or smile again, and yet you have. So continuously remind yourself of that. It's so easy to get sucked into the moment and we feel like this is it. I can't see beyond that point. But evidence shows that it will pass, because it always has. It always has. I want to know a little bit more about this new love. Can you give us some clarity on this new love, please? Hmm. Interesting. Okay, again, take it as it resonates, because I'm getting some conflicting messages, kind of. This doesn't, okay, either this isn't about your new love, but what you've been dealing with, or this is about you, this is about how you approached a relationship and wanting to do it differently. Because again, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. We have the Chariot in reverse, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the King of Wands in reverse. Lots of reversals. Things were all turned upside down. So this might point to a past relationship, your last relationship, or how you've been handling relationships up until this point. You may have had really weak boundaries or wanting to give up on something or someone, or maybe you did give up, or you just kind of quit because you were overwhelmed and you were exhausted and you couldn't handle it. There was definitely a lack of movement. There was also a lack of self-discipline on someone's end. So there's lots of giving up here. Someone gave up on someone. There was no direction. There was no movement. And again, there was no movement because it seemed like you were either moving at different speeds or just different directions. You just weren't on the same page. There was a lack of focus. And it feels like an imbalance with effort. One person was either putting in way more or way less than the other person. And we have been impulsive as well. Just very quick, very, let's do it, very like, um, yeah, there was weak leadership here. So again, that might have been you or just the last situation you were involved in. This is when we got to be honest with ourselves about what's true. But what is this new love? That's what I asked. Tell me about this new love. Ace of Wands. See? Yeah. Also, there might have been some financial stuff going on that led to this Seven of Wands energy of being overwhelmed and burnt out. Because we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse at the top of the deck. So that's overspending or being reckless with your money, financial insecurity. So there may have been some money troubles as well that led to that energy. But we have the Ace of Wands and the King of Swords. Ooh, Six of Wands. Yeah. There's mental clarity here. There is truth here that came to light. And honestly, just growth as far as maturity. Like the King of Swords is someone who has integrity, who's serious, who has high standards and isn't afraid to be the authority. Like, this is what it is, and I'm going for it. With the Six of Wands, there's achievement and success here. There's a sense of victory, triumph. Again, we saw triumph earlier in the first cards with the King of Swords. So again, that triumphant success card. Yeah, even though I know this is about this new love, this feels like your energy. It's just like you overcame something that was really big. Like it was very deep and heavy for you. And it's creating this space for the Ace of Wands. This is new opportunities. This is you feeling inspired. This is your passion being ignited. This is enthusiasm. This is you allowing your passions to take the lead, even when it comes to love. Because again, you may have always been a very passionate person, but you wouldn't, it just felt like you wouldn't place relationships and love to the same importance as like your career or your finances or feeling it again. Ooh. Or any sort of like tangible effort. You may have thought that this was either like if it happens, it happens. Or I'm not going to pay any mind to this, like it's out of my hands anyway, or whatever. But for some of you, your relationship, like your love relationship and everything else, your job, your career, your money, whatever, are very much interlinked. That might have been a message for some of you too, that you realized is you were never meant to do this alone. You were meant to build with another. You may have dealt with a lot of emotional immaturity, also emotional manipulation. And again, this could either be you or the other person or both. No one's judging you. A lot of codependency and sort of victim mentality here with the Queen of Cups in reverse. And staying, like being stuck in the past, Six of Cups in reverse. You were unable to let go of someone or something, or maybe even those patterns. You probably held on to those patterns for so long because they kept you safe, meaning they kept you alone, or they kept you in relationships that were never healthy for you, and you unconsciously enjoyed being with people that you knew wouldn't last long term or weren't like who you wanted to be with, because that expiration date gave you an out. It kind of gave you like a sense of relief. Because it was like, well, I know this isn't gonna last, so like, let me just see what it is, and then at some point it'll be done. But that still would cause a lot of harm and a lot of drama and a lot of chaos. And I think some of you finally realized that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Yeah, there was a judgment call here. There was a judgment call here, an awakening of some kind, a reckoning of some kind. Ooh, the Empress underneath. You're birthing new creations. Yeah, but the Magician's also reverse under that. So there was a lot of deception here. And again, it may have been you deceiving other people, someone deceiving you, or you deceiving yourself. May have been a little fun bag of all of it. But honesty and integrity, I know I'm a Capricorn and I talk about this all the time, but I'm being honest. It's important. It's important for your spiritual hygiene. It's important for your well-being. It's not about being a self-righteous person or feeling better than everybody or none of that. Because if that's how you're doing it, you're a fucking dick and no one cares. It's about the fact that at the end of the day, you got to live with yourself. No one knows everything that you do or don't do except for you, but you still have to carry that and you got to live with yourself. That's why one of my favorite quotes is there's no softer pillow than a clear conscience. Honesty and integrity are not cheap traits. They are very expensive. That's why a lot of people don't have them. But those who do and those who practice it, even when it's uncomfortable, lead lighter lives because they are not carrying the burden and responsibility and obligation of the deception, of the lies, of the betrayal, of the regret, of the guilt, of the shame. Because it's never one thing, it carries with it so much. That's so heavy. Releasing that off of you, loving yourself enough to know, yeah, I fucked up. I may not have been the best person all the time, but I can still make amends. I can still right my wrongs. I can still find a way to release all this heaviness off of me so that I can move forward. Some of you were stuck stagnant because everything was so heavy you could not move. You were paralyzed. But slowly but surely, you started unpacking, you started taking shit out. And once begin again. Once it started lightening up, you were like, oh shit, I can move a little bit. I can start taking some steps forward. What are some final words for this collective, this love? Let it flow, let it grow. Be clear about what you want. Again, communicate, be direct, be honest, be clear. Who was it? I think it was Brene Brown. I think it was Brene Brown who said, being clear is being kind and being unclear is being unkind. And that's the truth. When you care about someone, when you want to be a kind person, you are clear. That's how you show your love. That's how you show your care for people. You are clear. You got reflect, you got nourish, you got see things for what they are. Some of you may have, again, this may not be easy to hear, but some of you may have continuously blamed other people for your choices and decisions and actions or inactions. And I think part of your growth is finally taking responsibility for your role in things. There's clarity here in you finally seeing things for what they are, which is allowing you to make decisions on how you want to move forward. Take things slow, allow yourself to reflect on this information that you're getting, and continue to ask for more. Now that you're co-creating this bond, this relationship with the universe, with yourself, don't be afraid to ask for more information, for insight, for clarity. With Nourish, when this relationship comes, you need to nourish it. you need to be consistent. Like I mentioned, you need to pour into it. You need to, and not you alone, obviously, it's a partnership, but you need to do your end of the bargain. You need to make sure you're showing up to water it every day in whatever way that looks like. And again, that's a conversation between you and the person you decide to create a relationship with. What do we each need to feel nourished in this relationship? But again, there's just a heightening sense of truth here. Lots of truth here, which is good. I think you wanted the truth. Triumph again. That is a very balance. That is a very important word this time around for this reading for these people. That might be a word you're seeing often or hearing. Or if you do, maybe that's confirmation for you with this reading. But as far as what's coming next for you in love, ooh, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. So you got to show up differently, and you're capable. You are able. And that doesn't mean to show up perfectly, because no one's perfect. It just means that you're not going to give up, and you're going to make the choice every day to try. And when you meet someone who's willing to be right there with you and also choose to try every day, there's no limit to what you can do together. I'm excited for you. You deserve this. Thank you for trusting me and for listening to this reading, and I'll see you next time.